Lights up, cameras roll, stats in the fold. Kyle and Erik got the game on control. Daily grind, strategy defined. DFS huddle, money on the line. Huddle up, breaking it down. Big plays, big wins, all over town. Kyle and Erik, the duo supreme. DFS hustle, living the dream. Line up, huddle up, breaking it down. Big plays, big wins, all over town. Kyle and Erik, the duo supreme. DFS hustle, living the dream. Lineups tight, numbers ignite. Analytics sharper than a game day fight. Stacks on stacks, no time to relax. DFS huddle, we dropping the facts. Feel the heat, the picks elite. This the show where the sharp minds meet. Play so bold, they'll leave you stunned. Huddle's the spot when the money's won. Huddle up, breaking it down. Big plays, big wins, all over town. Kyle and Erik, the duo supreme. DFS hustle, living the dream. Huddle up, breaking it down. Big plays, big wins, all over town. Kyle and Erik, the duo supreme. DFS hustle, living the dream. This the DFS huddle, don't miss a beat. Kyle and Erik, where the game geeks meet. Cash lines hit, top of the slate. Tune in now, before it's too late. DFS huddle, don't miss a beat. Kyle and Erik.
Bro, I love it. It is a little long. I'm gonna say
It is a little long. I gotta play with it.
I like it. I don't want to change it because it kind of gives you time. You can tweet it out, get people going. Welcome in to the DFS Huddle. We appreciate you guys, everyone who's watching. Thank you. We're gonna go over the FanDuel and DraftKings main slate Sunday. Try to win that $1 million. Try to have something good happen. Try to get you guys in a good spot. Studs, values, all that good stuff. Please like, subscribe wherever you're watching. We appreciate that. If you're new to the show, leave a comment, get a question, start, sit, all that stuff for your fantasy football. We know playoffs are this week. You got to start, sit question. We are absolutely ready for that. Get your questions in the chat box, and we will do our best to answer your start, sit questions. Please, if you want to join the community, get our DFS lineups, our best bets. We're having a good time over there. Click the link in the video. Is there a video description with it in the link? I'm sure there is. There is. Erik. Yep. Click the link, DFS Huddle. Go to patreon.com/DFS Huddle, however you want to do it. 50 cents a day, $15 a month. Lots of stuff in there, top to bottom. Love some UFC 323. I got to get going on that after this show's over. Rocking and rolling. So we appreciate all that. My man, week 14. Good game last night. Referees, a rough night again for the refs. But nonetheless, good game last night. Your Lions got back on track. Now we've got 11 games, and we're getting to the part of the year, Erik, where you got to check these weather reports. You just have to. And I think this week, outside of that Buffalo-Cincinnati game, which I do think there could still be points, Joe Burrows and Josh Allen are both excellent in the snow. Want to start focusing on these games, maybe indoors at better weather. When you just look at the weather across the board this week, 11 degrees in Green Bay, definite snow in Buffalo, chance of rain, Jacksonville, definite rain, Tampa Bay, it looks like 9 degrees, it's cold. It's snowy. It's rainy. Got to keep your eyes peeled. What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. What's going on? Shout out to everyone watching in Instagram. Those don't come up, so appreciate everyone watching Instagram too.
I'm just seeing I can click it. It's a new format here in the StreamYard. It's nice, and I'm like, oh, I can show it too. Look at it. It's cool. New format here. Shout out to Erik. Erik set this all up. Great intro. Shout out to you, man. That was badass. I love it.
Just got to trim it down a little bit. I'll work on it a little bit.
Can we find some clips where I look like younger, like more hand? You know what I mean? Like more hand. Like, you know how Billy Bob Thornton, he started doing those T-Mobile commercials, right? And then he looked old. And then he did this last one. You could tell they pulled his skin back. He put all this cream on and threw a hat on. I need to be Billy Bob. And not a dirty way, you sick fucks out there.
That's where my head went.
Yep. Got it. So, again, weather, just something to keep an eye on. We're going to go through it. We'll make a lineup at the end again. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. For you, those of you on Instagram who are watching, like you said, we can't see your comments. So if you jump on,
just say it. Just type them in. Type them in.
Type them in, and he'll read them. So, Erik, we got it covered. We got you covered. Appreciate you guys. very much out there. So let's jump right into it, Erik. Looking at quarterback this week, we mentioned the weather. There's a lot of tough matchups. There's a guy who I took a shot on last week with another great matchup for value in Tua. I think it's tough. The model of consistency at the top is Stafford, right? Just every week, he's got the good matchup and the good weather against Arizona. Where are you going at quarterback this week? We got Jaden Daniels coming back from injury.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels announced that he's going to go. What I'm looking at for it is first one, obviously, we got Josh Allen, 8 for 38 and 1 TD on the ground.
We knew it. See, we knew that for whatever reason that this might bring out the weirdos. So probably not. Like if you paid us, I'd probably kiss him if you paid me. I don't know. At my age, whatever. I've kissed worse. I've probably kissed worse.
Has 21 scores, 6 at home, has rushing scores in 2 straight. Sam Darnold has 3 scores in 4 with 5 picks and 3 lost fumbles, 11 scores and 7 picks and 6 on the road. 347 and 5 TDs against Minnesota last week. Phenomenal game. The opponent has allowed the 4th most points to opposing quarterbacks over the last 6 weeks. Jordan Love against the Bears at home. He has 5 passing touchdowns in 6 games. The Bears have allowed the 6th most points per game to opposing quarterbacks over the last 6. Are we finally going to get Lamar Jackson there? You know what I mean? Is Lamar Jackson finally going to show up? Last 3 has no scores, 3 picks, has run 17 times for 48 yards, no touchdowns in 3 games, is absolutely mind-blowing. Under 205 passing yards in 5 of 6 games. The opponent, the Steelers, have allowed the 8th most points per game to quarterbacks the last 6 weeks. Call me crazy. These last 2 are dart throws. Shedeur Sanders, 2 scores, 1 pick.
There's going to be snow, I think, in that game.
385 passing yards. The Titans have allowed the 9th most points per game to opposing quarterbacks the last 6 weeks. Tyrod Taylor, 8 for 44 and a touchdown on the ground, 3 scores in 3, 1 rushing, 1 game in 4 of over 200 yards. But you got that rushing upside and gets that Miami defense. That's definitely something I'm up for.
Yeah, the Lamar Jackson. So the Shedeur Sanders to Cleveland, it's likely snow, 34 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds they're showing right now. So I'd be careful there. Could be Quinshon Judkins and you guys talking about volume. Oh man, we did get the weirdos. That's all right. We're just gonna let them ride. Hey, I think it helps the algorithm anyways, right? Like the more comments. So. But that would be my concern there at the top. So you got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You got the snow game in Buffalo. We all know that. But Joe Burrow has, a 4-touchdown game in his last snow game, I want to say. He's played excellent cold weather, Josh Allen. So I think both of those guys are live. The better matchup obviously favors Josh Allen. When you look at just matchups to exploit quarterbacks versus defense in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed. So we had the Cowboys last night. So coming into Sunday, the Buccaneers, the Titans, as you mentioned, Washington, Cincinnati. Those guys are on a bye. The Dolphins, you mentioned Tyrod Taylor. The Falcons, you mentioned Sam Darnold. The Jaguars and the Bears are the ones who kind of round that out. Teams to avoid, it says Buffalo, but again, this Joe Burrow, I think it's a special case. I'm going to have some exposure to Joe Burrow, but avoid the Bills, avoid the Vikings, avoid the Eagles, the Broncos, obviously, the Browns, the Texans, obviously. So those are some of the matchups to avoid. I'm just kind of enjoying the ride out here, and we appreciate everyone watching. Thank you to everyone watching, commenting. Get your start, sit, questions in there, all that good stuff. So I like Stafford, like Josh Allen. Jaden Daniels is interesting to me. Minnesota's beatable, right? And it's indoors, good way, right? I'm getting a dome game on a fast track against kind of a hapless Vikings team, I would say. Disappointing season for them coming off of last year. So maybe a little bit of Jaden Daniels if you want to be contrarian. Lamar Jackson, we've never seen him be this cheap, right? This is the cheapest he's ever been, especially in this kind of matchup. But Baltimore-Pittsburgh, isn't this always just a low-scoring shit game?
Yeah, but if he gets that rushing touchdown, though.
And he looks slow to me. He looks like he doesn't want to run. All the quarterbacks. No quarterback looks fast to me anymore. They all look just slow. the linemen are so fast nowadays. It's like, I don't know. Like when Jalen Hurts runs, it looks like a fullback running to me. I'm like, I don't know why this guy runs. He's slower than the defensive line. But nonetheless, I'm there. Jacoby Brissett, right in the middle of the pack. Now I know the Rams defense is good, but again, good weather. You expect them game script. They're going to be playing from behind. It's going to be the Michael Wilson show with him again. No Harrison and George. Trey Benson's out. They're going to have to throw. So a guy like Jacoby Brissett, who's just doing nothing over the last 5 weeks, 24, 21, 27, 22, 24. I mean, just a model of consistency in the optimal lineup. I think 3 of those 5 weeks. So I want some exposure to Jacoby Brissett. Trevor Lawrence against the Colts. Look, seems like they're figuring it out. Jacoby Myers has been a nice addition. Brian Thomas Jr. is healthy. Another game where they're battling for, that's an important game. I can see Trevor Lawrence, the rushing upside a little bit in the red zone is there for Trevor Lawrence. I think he makes a little bit of sense. And then you mentioned Tyrod Taylor in the as a value quarterback. Tyrod Taylor, I agree with. And why am I looking at this? I think the Washington defense is one of the worst in the league. JJ McCarthy. Like, it just feels like something weird could happen there. There's some rushing upside. They've got Washington's defense isn't good.
Yeah.
It gets tough. Quarterback's tough. I'd say my top value is Tyrod Taylor. I agree with you, and I can't believe I'm saying that. And I feel like I've played Tyrod before, and I regretted it. That could be it again. For me, a lot more exposure this week to Jacoby Brissett, Trevor Lawrence, and on the higher end, I'm gonna debate: do I just go safe with Stafford, or do I take a chance in that snow game with Burrow and Josh Allen? Sort of ends up.
Do you want to get to this RB question right here, my friend?
Sure. What we got? In the RB spot, Walker, Swift, Hampton, is he playing, and Charbonnet. So what, you need to play 2 or 3. Omarion Hampton is playing. Jalen Carter is going to be out of that game for the Eagles as well. I like Omarion Hampton. I don't know how much of a leash he will have. Monty Vidal has been fine in his stead. So he is playing. I don't know if I'm throwing him in. Probably want Swift against the Packers in that. It's going to be cold there. They're going to lean on the running game. Mononga's been banged up, though. He is going to play. Charbonnet, no thank you. For me, I guess it's Walker and Swift. What do you think?
Yeah. I would go with Smith. I mean, like, the Walker Charbonnet thing has just been so weird this season.
It's enough, right? It's like enough.
And Swift.
Yeah. You probably get a higher snap share out of Hampton than you will out of Walker. The Charbonnet thing, I've been trying to say it all year long. So it's a great lead into the running back segment. We've got some good matchups. A-Chain against the Jets. James Cook against the Bengals, who allow the most fantasy points to running backs. I hear a lot. Everyone loves Josh Jacobs this week. I personally have him on my bench because my team's so good. But nonetheless, Breece Hall's in a good matchup. Quinshon Judkins in a snow game. Some guys out there that stand out. What do you think here at running backs this week?
Running backs. Interesting slate for the running backs, and I lost my notes. Oh, here we go. We got Trey Benson, eligible to return. I
think he's out, though. I think they ruled him out.
He's out. Did they rule him out?
I think so. I was just reading the Cardinals report. Let me double check. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, he's out. Marvin Harrison Jr., Greg Dortch, and Trey Benson all out this week.
All right, Devon Achane had no catches, but had 131 on the ground at TD. Tied the team record 3 in a row, 120 yards, 3 scores in 3 in a row. The Jets have allowed the third most points per game to running backs the last 6 weeks. Chase Brown. Buffalo's really struggled defending the running back. 78 on the ground, 35 in the air last week. Really high on him. Michael Carter, 5 grabs in 2 of the last 3, had 15 touches for 81 yards last meeting. You mentioned James Cook before. The Bengals have allowed the second most points per game to running backs over the last 6, had 144 yards last week on the ground. Breece Hall, when we look at his touches, 20, 22, 16, 20, and 21. Those are the last 5 games. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor's there. He's taking more shots down the field. He only had 68 yards rushing against the Falcons, but I think he's going to be able to get it going against this Dolphins defense. R.J. Harvey, now the featured back from Buffalo, only 18 yards last meeting. But I like him in the matchup. Derrick Henry. We saw Cook get 144 yards last week. He's averaging 19 and 88 yards per game, went 26 for 186 in the last meeting. He scored in 4 of his last 5. Bucky Irving lost a touchdown and a holding penalty, but had 61 yards and a TD on the ground, 20 in the air. Has scored in 4, but only went 15 for 61 in each outing, 4 catches in his last 5. I think Kamara is going to be playing because of the PPR upside in DraftKings, and the Bucks have given up a ton of production in the passing game. I'm interested in him. Kyle McDonald / DeAndre Swift, great matchup against the Packers. Bijan Robinson, no London. He's the only game in town. I posted a Bijan Robinson bet in the Patreon. Those watching YouTube, make sure you click the link to join. My boy, Kenny Walker, has played 55% of the snaps, 2 straight games, 67 yards in 3 of his last 4, 3 catches in 3 straight, has 2 scores, 1 rushing in the last meeting between these 2 teams. So that's kind of where my head is at for this week coming up.
Yeah, and I'll let the fellas know receiver questions. We're going to get to wide receivers next. When we transfer over to wide receivers, we'll answer those start sit wide receiver questions for you here in just a bit. So running backs, just not a lot of value for me in terms of value plays. I only have 2 players marked who are under 6,000 on DraftKings. RJ Harvey, who you mentioned against the Raiders, 22nd, and Devin Neal. If Alvin Kamara doesn't play against Tampa Bay, the rookie running back, they involved him in the passing game, double-digit fantasy points each of the last 2 weeks. He's at 5,100. His prices went up. Those are the 2 guys. Maybe honorable mention, possibly Kenneth Gainwell. Kind of see how the game script goes there, but they could involve him more in the passing game. Up at the top, look, I love Devin A-Chain, James Cook. You mentioned it. I do think you said Bijan Robinson, and I kind of went back and looked through this because you look and it goes, the Seahawks, matchup-wise, avoid the Seahawks, right? They're one of the teams to avoid in terms of running backs against. The 5th fewest fantasy points allowed. But when you go and look, as you mentioned, the receiving yards against and the receptions, not necessarily the yards, but lots of targets to running backs. No Drake London. I think Bijan's going to be lower owned than guys like A-Chain and Cook and Jacobs. And he has this big upside. So he's a real tournament play for me. You're playing GPP tournaments. I think Bijan's going to be lower owned than some of those other guys in that price range. And obviously Tyler Algier being the fucking just the Michael, being the goddamn, who was that poacher for the Mike Tolbert, being the Mike Tolbert of the Falcons. 8 touchdowns for Algier, only 5 for Bijan. There's got to be some regression there for Bijan. So I like that quite a bit. Quinshon Judkins, snow game, Tennessee against the Titans, one of the worst rushing defenses in the league when you look at matchups to exploit. Titans are one of them. Of course, the Giants, who are on a bye, the Bengals, the one team you want to really attack, the Commanders, the Jets, the Browns, the Raiders, the Falcons, and the Bills. Chase Brown, love Chase Brown. He's going to be heavily involved in the passing game, especially a snow game where they got to get quick passes out. Chase Brown's an excellent player. Running back, I'm going to have 3 running backs, and my flex is going to be a running back this week, I feel like. I want to get Brown, A-Chain, Cook, something like that. Get those guys in there, get those points. Tournaments, I think Bijan, excellent. Who doesn't like a good quickie? Although at my age, Eric, you get to our age, a quickie doesn't happen. You got to, like, if you want it to be that quick, your legs are going to hurt. You're going to have to flex your calves. You know what I mean? It don't just happen anymore. When you're 20, quickies happen. You're almost embarrassed. Then you get in your 40s. You're like, God, I wish it could just happen. You got to fake it. Just get out of there before your side hurts too much. But nonetheless, I digress. Should we answer these wide receiver questions, my friend? What do you think here? The wide receivers I'm starting right now. This is from @Amanster23. The wide receivers I'm starting are Jettis. You know that? Jettas? Jettas? Egbuka and Michael Wilson. Would you sit any of them for Terry McLaurin now that Daniels is playing? I would not sit Michael Wilson, not with how that's lining up. We've seen this show before, and they're going to throw to him a lot. Egbuka against the Saints. The Saints are kind of a Debbie Downer in fantasy points. Their defense isn't bad, and they don't score a lot, so it's just like, dead. If I knew who Jettis was.
Do you mean Jefferson?
Maybe Jefferson. And look, I don't love that Vikings offense, but that matchup is really, really good. I don't think you could go wrong there. Maybe I'd consider like I said, that Saints game just doesn't have great high-powered vibes. Possibly swapping out Egbuka for McLaurin, possibly. But that would be sort of where I would go there. What do you think?
I mean, I think you didn't draft Jefferson to have him sit out this week. You know what I mean? I think you're stuck. I think you have to play Jefferson with what Wilson's put up with Brissett, with no Harrison. You got to put him in there. Baker's banged up. He's not 100%. This could be a game where they get out ahead and just kind of pull everyone, kind of get ready. Right. So I would double E. I'd actually sit double E, as crazy as it sounds. If that's Jefferson, I don't know who else it could be.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm doing a little. So next question here. Oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. Wait, before that, this one. Keon Coleman or Jerry Jeudy, full point PPR.
Jesus Christ.
That's the worst option I've ever seen. That's horrible.
Gun to my head, I go Jeudy, I guess.
Oh, that is so bad.
You kind of have to go Jeudy, right?
Judy's the safe route. If you need a lot of points, it kind of depends on where you're at. So it's Sunday morning, so I don't know if you've had anybody on Thursday night, but if you need a big scoring week, it's Keon Coleman, right? Judy's going to be on the
Coleman
field.
Definitely has a higher ceiling, but Jeudy has a higher floor.
Bingo. That's how I would
thing right there.
That's how I would analyze that. And then we got one more question here from Old Man Betting Sport. Is Kyron Williams playing? Yes, he doesn't even have an injury designation. He avoided a designation today. I just looked it up. I have him, ATN, Walker, and Vidal. I have ATN in the flex, but could put Shakir in the flex. Yeah, Vidal, send to the bench. Amari Hampton's going to be playing. So you don't really need Kamani Vidal. Hang on to him in case, he gets hurt. We saw he's very serviceable. If you have a spot, that's fine to hang on to him. ATN.
So I guess ETN or Shakir in the flex, and I guess that's the question.
Yeah, and look, I mean, ATN's the safer play.
Yeah.
I think there could be fireworks in Buffalo. ATN, I'm never playing him again. I won't play him in DFS again. I'm not doing this 12 carries for 19 yards bullshit and then bringing on Bashan Tootin. Nope, I'm fucking over it. So that's painful, but the floor is certainly higher than Khalil Shakir. If it's full point PPR, I might lean Shakir because I do think, despite the snow, that game should be a lot of fun. Hope it's a lot of fun. Should be points in that game. I think that's it for running back. Let's go to the wide receivers. Just some of the matchups before we have Erik break it down that you want to try to exploit. The Bears, the highest adjusted fantasy points allowed to wide receivers, followed by the Lions we saw last night, the Falcons, the Commanders, the 49ers, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins. We mentioned Tyrod Taylor. Who are active this week. The Ravens, the Titans, the Steelers, Raiders, Jets, and Chiefs rounded out the 15 there. Who do you like this week at wide receiver? Again, a lot of weather concerns for some of the top guys. But you got, what do you think here?
Obviously, Devontae Adams. I mean, they're just forcing him the ball. 2 TDs, 58 yards, has 11 scores in 6 games, 8 scores in 6 on the road. Obviously, Jamar Chase, 6 for 91 in 6 of 7 games with 10 targets in all 6 outings, averaging 13.7 per game, has 1 score in 6 road games. I kind of like Romeo Doubs this week against that Bears secondary. The opponent the Bears have allowed the 6th most yards per game over the past 6 weeks to the wide receiver position. Zay Flowers went 2 for 6 last with a fumble, ending a PPR streak. He had 8 straight games of double-digit points in PPR. Expect a bounce back for him. In 4 or 5, he's averaging 3.5 or 5 for 54.3 yards. This Steelers defense is awful. Flowers 5 for 100 last meeting. Jerry Jeudy 6 for 86 on 14 targets in the last 3 games. I kind of like John Mechie. I kind of think
he's a good value play this week.
3 for 45 and 2 of the last 3, has 10 catches and 2. I expect a bounce back from Michael Pittman, one for 13 last week, has a lone 100-yard game. It was in week 9. He's gone 8 for 59 and 1 TD in 3 outings, has 1 score and 4. I think they're going to look to get Pittman the ball. Cortland Sutton, I think he could have a bounce back game, has gone 4 for 59 and 2 straight, has 1 game in the last 4 where he's gone over 60 yards, 3 scores on 6 road games, has 2 straight on the road, went 3 for 24 last meeting against Vegas, and that was that weird Thursday night game. And Jalen Waddle, disappointed last week, only having 40 yards, but has gone for 80 yards in 3 of his last 5, 6 for 92 in 2 of his last 5, 3 scores on the road. I kind of like Jalen Waddle. He's kind of like emerged as the number 1 guy now with Hill out. Excuse me. Obviously, the weather concerns are a little bit in New York.
Yeah. Looking at the top, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I expect a bounce back game. Last week was by far his worst game, but he is the most expensive. He dropped to Puka Nacua. Love them both. The Devontae Adams thing, I had him in my lineups last week, and then I took him out because if he doesn't get that little slant that they force to him, right? They get to the fucking 2 and they do the stupid little slant play, and I don't know why, but no one can cover it. It makes no sense to me. They know it's coming. It's just a dumb slant, and they do it every time. But if he doesn't, he only had 5 targets. He's only had 13 targets over the last 2 weeks. Jamar Chase, 24. Puka Nacua, 20. Chris Olave, 20. I mean, Mecca, all these guys more targets. If he doesn't get the touchdowns, it's nothing, right? It's a 7.8. So I keep fading him because I know it's coming. He can't score 2 touchdowns every fucking game on 5 catches. It just can't happen. It just can't happen. So yeah, it pisses me off too. So I'm fucking, especially as a Puka Nacua owner, just like fuck off with this. Like it's the same bullshit every time. And if he doesn't get that, I don't think there's going to be a lot of points there. I'm going to have some Puka I'm going to do like the afternoon only, have some Puka. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, fast track in Atlanta, indoors. Sign me up for that game. I think that game's sneaky, high-scoring game. Has a chance. The Seattle-Atlanta game indoors out there in Atlanta. Jacoby Myers has turned into a dude for Jacksonville or the Colts. Yeah. Sauce Gardner went down last week, so that Colts secondary is back to being shitty again. Remember like they were before they got Sauce Gardner? Back to being shitty. Jacoby Myers, 36 DraftKings points over the last 2 weeks. Love me some Jacoby Myers sitting at 5,700 on DraftKings, 6-1 on FanDuel. Michael Wilson, 5-6 DraftKings, 5-7 FanDuel. He's going to be popular, and he should be. The Rams defense is not overwhelming. We saw what happened in the 2 games that Marvin Harrison was out before this. Do I need to refresh everyone's memory? 33 targets and 62 DraftKings points in 2 weeks without Marvin Harrison. Also, no Greg Dortch. Holy moly. Michael Wilson should be in your lineups this week. Going down, 5,200. You mentioned a Packers receiver. Christian Watson. I like Christian Watson against the Bears. He's been kind of emerging as a big play guy. You look at the last 3 weeks, double-digit fantasy points in each game, 21, 10, and 18 last week on 22 targets. I like Christian Watson a lot. I hate the Lakers bring it. That's my guy, 5,200. I think he makes a ton of sense. 6-2 on FanDuel. Jordan Addison, 10 targets last week against Washington. If you want a Vikings receiver and you want to sort of go against that Washington defense, you get Jordan Addison a lot cheaper than Justin Jefferson, 4,900, 10 targets last week. 10 fantasy points in 4 of the last 5 weeks, or 3 of the last 5. I don't hate Jordan Addison. John Mechie, you mentioned it against Miami. Absolutely 15 targets over the last 2 weeks, double-digit fantasy points in 2 of the last 3. Luther Burden against the Packers. He sort of emerges as the third guy. I like the little packages they do. I think the touchdowns coming. I think Luther Burden and a guy who was in the optimal millionaire maker lineup last week against a bad Tampa Bay secondary, Deshaun Villay for the Saints. 8 targets last week, got the touchdowns, 20 coming off a 23-point DraftKings game. I think he's alive. And one other guy I want to bring up who you keep hearing his name called when you watch the Red Zone. There's going to be no Drake London this week. We mentioned with Bijan Robinson. David Sills the fifth. Kirk Cousins loved this guy. They've loved this guy since the preseason. David Sills, double-digit fantasy points each of the last 2 weeks. They trust him in the red zone. I think he makes some sense as well. All right. Let's get to some questions here. What about who's the Sunday night game? Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, yeah, Texans Chiefs. And our question is, what about the Sunday night football slate? Captains' thoughts. I don't have those prices right now in front of me. Here, let me see if I can pull that up. I mean, obviously, Rashee Rice, huge game for the Chiefs. And I know the Texans' defense is good, but I think this is going to be a long night for the Texans. Chiefs need this game. Their defense is very good. I'm not that worried. I think against this defense, when you have Mahomes, Kelsey, Rashee Rice, Worthy, to me, always the sneaky captain for them is Worthy because he's got that big play upside. They do those little gadget plays in the red zone for him. Worthy could be a cheaper captain option in that game. But for me, and Travis Kelce too. He's just been model of consistency. If they're so worried on the outside, Travis Kelce in the middle. The Texans do not interest me all that much. What do you think Sunday night football slate?
I mean, you obviously mentioned Rice. Yeah. I mean, I think a dart throw is worth.
We got you. No, you're back now. It was just delayed. Sorry, it was just delayed. Lagging, my bad.
Yeah, I totally agree with Rashee Rice. Totally like him. I would probably throw Hunt in there because Hunt seems to be getting most of the work inside the 5. And I would look at Nico Collins as well, too.
Someone asked about Darnell Mooney. Sure. I mean, they do have, that rapport. I don't hate it. I suppose. He was good for me a couple weeks ago. Again, I think that game could be sneaky. I don't mind doing a little Atlanta-Seattle action in that game. Of course, you got to hope that the Falcons offense shows up and say, see, this isn't an important game, a super important game for Seattle. It's not a lot of pressure. Sam Darnold, the Lego policeman, as I like to call him, he looks just like a Lego policeman. I swear to God, just like him. But he just can't. He's just not good in big pressure games, but against a 4 or 5 win team on the road, indoors, not a huge spotlight, I think that's a good spot for that Seattle offense. Let's get to tight ends, shall we?
What about the guy I'm betting Jefferson overs, and we'll have him in my lineups this week, if not here, when? I mean,
look, I don't hate it. Look,
you know what I mean? Like, it's the fucking Commanders.
And look, this is how you make money. So this is a great comment, and it's a great question, and it's not a terrible strategy. And it's all about your risk management and your risk, how much, what your bankroll is like, what you're willing to do. But putting guys like Jefferson and Njigba, who had bad weeks, and Jefferson's been on a slide, on a decline. So his ownership is going to be absolutely putrid, right? It's going to be putrid. It's going to be very low. So if Justin Jefferson goes off for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, you have a great chance of doing well this week. So I absolutely love it. If you're playing 50-50 cash games, not so much. It's not a safe play. Yeah. But you're playing tournaments, absolutely you could break the slate. I think it's a smart way to go. That's what I'm talking about. That makes me know you've been watching the show. I love that strategy. It's very, very smart. Let's get to tight ends. Obviously, my boy Trey McBride in my guillotine league. He's up top at 8K. And again, he's had huge games every week, all year long. Yeah. Just an absolute monster year. Again, no Marvin Harrison, so he makes a ton of sense. But I have a lot of tight ends marked here, Eric, and even some, we talked that Vikings game. I mean, I've got guys all the way down to 2,900 here at my player pool for tight end. It's a deep pool this week. What do you like?
Obviously, I'll start with Brock Bowers. Ran 27 routes on 47 plays, 5 scores in 5 games, averaging 70 yards and a touchdown in the last 5. Only 31 last meeting, but the Broncos have allowed the 7th most points the last 6 weeks to the tight ends. Dalton Kincaid is coming back from an injury. I posted a bet for Kincaid in the Patreon. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, click that link. Come join where Kyle and I post all our bets and DFS lineups. Coming back, the previous 5, he scored or hit 104 times, averaging 4 catches for 65 yards. Last time they played, had 10 catches for 81 yards. The Bengals have allowed the most points per game to opposing tight ends the last 6 weeks. This Bills passing game has been struggling. I think they're going to look to get Kincaid going early and often. Mentioned Trey McBride, not going to go into him at all. Kyle Pitts, 8 targets, 7 receptions, 82 yards, had 30 routes on 63 snaps. last scored in week 4, obviously due for a touchdown, has gone 5 or 65 each of the last 2 meetings. The Seahawks have allowed the 5th most points per game to opposing tight ends the last 6 games. Brenton Strange, he ran 26 routes on 56 snaps. He's averaged 4 for 69 in the 2 since he's returned, has 5 catches or a touchdown in each of his last 4 healthy games. The Colts have allowed the 6th most points per game to tight end over the last 6. Mason Taylor had 5 for 65 last meeting against the Dolphins. Dolphins have allowed the 3rd most points per game to the tight end over the last 6 weeks. And Tyler Warren. This is a must-win game for the Colts. If I'm the Colts, Pittman, Warren, Taylor. That's who's touching the ball.
It's a great matchup too.
Yeah, 23 routes on 47 snaps. He is first score. Oh, sorry. In the last 5, he's had 1 game of 55. He's averaging 49 yards per game. The Jaguars have given up the 2nd most points the last 6 weeks to opposing tight ends.
Yeah, and that matchup, the Jags give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Love a lot of those. Some guys that I just want to sort of mention, Mark Andrews. We mentioned it's the Lamar Jackson game. The Steelers allow a ton of fantasy points to opposing tight ends. 6th most overall in DraftKings points. So Mark Andrews, we kind of, it's the red touchdown dependent. We know that. But certainly in play. Juwan Johnson against Tampa Bay, 16 targets over the last 2 weeks. A double-digit guy. 4 out of the last 5 weeks? Well, it's a good question. You want to ask, why do you mention the last 6 weeks and not the full season? Well, first of all, teams are way different now than they were at week 1. So I think the last 6 weeks,
some stuff
trade deadlines.
Like, like there's that game where, oh my God, Taylor ran, what did he run for, 240 or whatever? There could be a game where like you play someone and totally excuse their metric. So I like to look at little 6-week bumps. Plus, there's all these injuries too. Like you mentioned, the Colts injuries. Sauce Gardner's no more. Now it's going to thin out the cornerbacks even more. It's going to open up stuff in the middle for Strange.
Yeah, sometimes full season stats don't tell the whole story because there's a lot of things like the Colts on paper. Like going into last week, you're like, oh, they've given up all these fantasy points to wide receivers. When in fact that when they had Sauce Gardner, they had been much better. The Cowboys defense over the last several weeks, as an example, take away last night. But look, everyone's a little bit different, but the last 6 weeks certainly a usable metric when talking football stats. Darren Waller, red zone target, came back from injury, got a week back under his belt. Thank you so much. Drive safe, bro. Tell those damn kids to behave, huh? Good luck, brother. I want to get down to some value guys, 3,400 and below. Evan Ingram, even though the Raiders are pretty good against tight ends, Evan Ingram, 14 targets over the last 2 weeks, 21 total DraftKings points. TJ Hawkinson, slowly starting to become a part of this offense again. 16 targets over the last 3 weeks, hit double digits last week. The Commanders, one of the worst teams in the league against opposing tight ends, indoors.
Yeah.
I like TJ Hawkinson quite a bit. I think he makes a ton of sense. Colby Parkinson for the Rams. 9 targets over the last 2 weeks, 9, 14, and 7 over the last 3. 3,100. Arizona allows the 10th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Think he's live. And then my last guy, I love this guy, and he's becoming more and more part of the offense. We got a snow game. He's on the field 50% of the snaps. Gunnar Helm for the Titans against the Browns. They like going to Gunnar Helm. If you're looking to be a little different, the rookie, 19 targets over the last 3 weeks, 14 targets over the last 2 weeks, 26 DraftKings points over the last 3 weeks. I think Gunnar Helm's not bad if you're looking for a salary saver at 2,900. And I don't disagree with this. Can you trust McCarthy? No, but there's not a lot of guys you can trust right now. And it's, and kind of with the matchups and value, but, and at that price again. So TJ Hawkinson at 3,300 doesn't need to do much for you to hit value. He gets 4 catches, 48 yards. You're perfectly happy with that. You can move on. And if he gets a touchdown, then of course, that's a little bit better there. All right. Anything left on tight ends or we go to defenses?
Nope.
Let's get to the defenses. Browns are at 3,700 in that snow game against
real
the Titans.
Quick, Schefter just tweeted out that Benson
Dalton Kincaid might not play, by the way. Watch for Dalton Kincaid because he still might be out.
And
He's listed questionable.
And DeMarco may not play. So that's like Michael Carter and Knight are
Imari DeMarcado. Got it.
Are the only game in town.
DeMarco. Yeah, he's out this week.
DeMarco, the new guy, man.
DeMarcado. DeMarco, the new man. I like that Browns defense. I got a big circle around it. There's not a lot of defenses I love. The Broncos against the Raiders. Do I need to say more? They should sack Geno 15 times. Browns in a snow game against the Titans, who are a little cheaper. Those are the two defenses I'm going to play more than anybody. A little bit of the Buccaneers against the Saints. And my one value defense, I know they're terrible. They're going to be low owned. Steelers. That Ravens offense looks awful. And if the TJ Watt can just get a strip sack fumble, that's all I need. I just need one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a value if you, again, reaching for tournaments. But for me, it's Browns, it's Broncos, and then move on. What do you think?
Looking all the way down, kind of like the Jets at 2,500. The Dolphins, Tua has historically struggled in games that's less than 40 degrees. That's a fucking great comment, dude.
I know. I mean, see, my problem with it is I only had the one wife, and I don't fucking trust her. That one ex-wife. Why you went for the second helping of pain? That's what when you go back for the second helping, then it's almost your fault. You know what I mean?
Hear me out.
That at-home pussy will get you. It's the at-home pussy that always gets you, man.
Sam Darnold struggles against pressure, and the Falcons blitz at the top 3 rate in the league. Because Falcons limited Josh Allen at home. I can see the Falcons defense. I absolutely love the Steelers, as you mentioned. The Browns are going to try to get that run game going. Jeffrey Simmons is back right now. Do we trust the Titans? Because Shedeur
possibly.
You know what I mean?
The Browns have nobody. Their weapons are awful outside of Quinshon Judkins.
If it's a weather game, they're not going to be able to get Shedeur going. When Simmons is there, you know what I mean? I definitely like them. These higher priced options, it's mind-boggling to me. I'm looking at DraftKings right now, how the Dolphins are 3,300. I would not trust them at all. One more lower budget team. Saints, 2,300. Baker's banged up. Irvin's banged up. Double E's banged up. Everyone is banged up on the Buccaneers. Saints defense has been playing better. And the Bears, you mentioned Jalen Johnson could be coming back. If Jalen Johnson comes back,
he is playing this week.
He is playing. That's absolutely huge for that secondary. He's going to take Watson. Gordon, who plays the inside in the slot, that is a good matchup for Dobbs, but Dobbs isn't 100%.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm just messing with this lineup here. Should we move on and build a lineup? And I think we can make a good one. So let's get started. You want to pick the quarterback right now? I'll tell you the lineup that it has in right now. I got to fix one thing so we meet the salary requirements. All right. So right now it's a Tyrod Taylor, John Mechie stack. Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, James Cook, Devin Achane at running back, Mechie, Christian Watson, and Michael Wilson at wide receiver, Hawkinson at tight end, Jacoby Myers at the flex, and the Broncos defense. We have 300 on the table. We could anything you'd like to change there? Would you like to change the quarterback?
I love the Mechie Tyrod Taylor stack. My only thing is I really want Bijan Robinson in the lineup.
Okay, so let's get Bijan in. He's actually cheaper than Achane. So there you go. So we got Bijan. Then I want James Cook against Cincinnati, 100%. But I like Achane too. But we'll just leave James Cook, and we're gonna keep Tyrod and Mechie.
I like that stack. I like that stack, dude, for tournaments.
Different. It's different. It's different.
Now
it's different.
Who's
it's going to be frustrating. I already know it. Right now, Jacoby Myers is in the flex, and we have 600 left over. So we could go up to
Chase Brown.
Guys we could almost get. Oh, I hope so. If we could get Chase Brown, no, he's at 67. So we would need to take 400 off the table.
Who do we have?
We have the Broncos right now at 3,900.
We can go a lot cheaper on defense.
We can go to the Browns at 3,700. Now we only need to save 200. go from. I really don't want to take out Christian Watson. I really like Christian Watson.
Who's the tight end?
We could take him. Tight end right now is Hawkinson at 3,300. We could go to Evan Ingram at 3,100, or Gunnar Helm. We can go to Colby Parkinson, Gunnar Helm. Oh, Evan Ingram we can't get to.
And who's the other running back besides Bijan Robinson? Cook, and then you said Watson, and who are the other two wide receivers?
Michael Wilson, who I think we gotta have in.
Yeah, you got it. And who's the third one?
And Christian Watson. We could go down to Jordan Addison, but there were two Vikings.
Watson, Wilson, and I'm sorry, who's the third one? I'm missing one.
Mechie, Watson, Wilson.
Oh, Mechie. Shit, my bad.
I would say it's at tight end. We just go down to Gunnar Helm, 2,900, or Colby Parkinson.
You want to go to Helm?
Because that's a lower leverage thing. We're not losing a lot of points. What's the difference going to be between fucking Parkinson and Hawkinson? Probably not that much. Or
yeah, that's true.
Gunnar Helm. So let's go Colby Parkinson. Boom.
And then we can put Brown in the flex.
And Chase Brown in the flex. That's a good lineup. Cook, Bijan, and Chase Brown with the running backs. Tyrod Taylor, John Mechie, Christian Watson, Michael Wilson, Colby Parkinson's Browns defense. It's a good here, let me take a look at what it's projected at here. That lineup is projected. I think it's Michael Wilson. I gotta adjust these projections, but that'll be one of the better lineups, I think, that we make with the optimizer this week. Again, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys very much. We will be back next week, Thursday Night Football, main slate. Please like, subscribe, join the Patreon, come in, check out the lineup, share your thoughts, join the community. $15 a month down there. From myself, Erik, anything else? Any closing words before we get the hell out of here? Thank you. We appreciate you.
Dude, fun show. Appreciate all the comments, even the ones talking about volleyball, dude. Fun show today, guys.
Yeah, all of them. All the comments are great. We had some volleyball. We got some quickies. We're too old for quickies. They just don't work anymore. All you get's a side. The quickest way for us old guys is your side starts to hurt. You fake it and you end it. Before you cramp up too much.
All right, sounds good. I think on that note,
thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Good luck on all your future wagers.